shot. It's nothing important anymore. Sorry.
Good double.
Nice. Nice double, David. I think Tim just doubled right now.
Hopefully. I'm so bummed we're not playing with them today. We had a good streak.
We did.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to beautiful, scorching San Jose, California.
It's hot!
The Magic Cart Path Ride podcast, baby. Ryan Westfall, Zach Malosh here.
Hey, guy.
Taking you on another wonderful journey. How you doing, man?
Just pretending that the world's not on fire. No, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, did you enjoy the play?
Jeez, that's a good one. Quite fitting, too.
I mean, how hot do we need to come in right now? There's no...
Well, in light of everything, and, I don't know how many people are listening to this podcast anymore. I stopped following the stats. I got an email the other day, and I caught a glimmer. Mm-hmm. It's quite a bit of people still, but, whatever. But nor have I listened to any other podcast, golf-related, and have they addressed anything that's been going on. But, like many of you, we've been in the middle of a pandemic and riot now.
Yeah.
I don't really want to discuss what happened. We all know what happened, and just so we're up to date, at this point, the 4 police officers involved in the situation have been detained, arrested, fired, and being charged with murder. The gentleman with the knee on the back is getting charged with second-degree murder now.
Correct.
Which is pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah. Derek Chauvin, and it actually makes me cringe a little bit inside my body to say his name, but I think that's the whole point, is that we need to say his name and make him and the other 4 officers involved, or the other 3 officers involved. The videos and the images that we're all seeing on a regular basis, just of the incident. We won't even get into the riots quite yet, and what's ascended from that moment. But I mean, it's ingrained in the entire country and the entire world's brain right now, and it's a very, very disturbing image, and it's just a very disturbing situation. And let's not pretend like this is a brand new situation. We've had this happen before. It happens all the time. It's like it's the worst running joke. It's as bad as the shootings. It's just like a terrible thing that happens all too frequently. But this one, it struck a chord like no other. I mean, it is somehow more egregious than any of the other incidents similar to it that have happened in the past. I mean, the sad thing that we just have to ultimately get into is this country. We're not going to talk about the rest of the world.
Yeah, we'll keep this golf related today, but
we will. But this country has a systemic racism problem that is just beyond horrible. And, it's great to see the rest of the world reaching out and supporting us. But, there's measures that need to happen. It's crazy, man.
And what you just said there, too, with all the rest of the world, it's not like we're the only people dealing with that, with police brutality alone. Yeah. But our situation, yes, is quite different and extends through the past a number of years. And some of those years are actually not that long ago. Yeah. Which is the most horrendous thing. And I think one thing about this particular situation, and I just got to cut to the chase, the magnitude of it, and the blatancy of the situation, and as far as the footage and how it was finally perceived by people, it's just amazing what it actually, propelled into, I guess. Yeah. Finally. But finally. Yeah. The eerie thing about the whole that whole particular footage and everything is just how calm the situation was. Yeah. How calming everything was. It wasn't a very brutal attack like we're used to seeing.
Yeah. It didn't appear to be violent because you couldn't tell what was going on, but eventually you could. And for the bystanders that were there on the scene, like, what are they going to do? Tackle the cops and say, "Hey, stop it." Like, what's going to happen? I mean, it's sad because that needed to be done, because what was happening was one person was murdering another person.
Right.
And nobody interfered. But I mean,
and they couldn't because it was imagine like if all you wanted to do was just kick that guy in the face to get off of him,
just to stop him, what would happen?
You would get stomped.
You'd get shot and killed probably.
Probably too, especially if you were another black individual or his buddy in the car or whatever. You'd be done.
How bad? I mean, I got to tell you,
definitely face stomped to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, for the guy who called the police, like this was a there you could make an argument that there was some systematic racism that led to that man calling the police. But once he saw what was going on, his next thought was, I need to call the police on the police. He was quoted for saying that, and I guarantee you he feels really shitty for even calling the police because he didn't realize, you don't think that that's what it's going to lead to. You know,
that shit happens too. A counterfeit, whatever the fuck. I don't give a shit.
A counterfeit check, whatever.
No,
he was.
A check aside, it was a $20 bill. Like
whatever.
No one's been passed a fake $20 bill.
If that, yeah.
Come on, dude.
All that aside,
come on, dude.
But you know what?
I've been passed a fake 100 before.
It's sadly in the store owner's defense, like, you don't think when you call the cops on somebody, no matter how overreacting much of an overreaction it may have been, you don't think that it's gonna end up in the cop fucking killing the guy, right? And then he's and all these people, what are you gonna do? You can't stop the cop from doing it.
And now there's stories that they knew each other, quite possibly, or they worked together, or they crossed paths. I've even heard some far eccentric stories I won't even get into. But like, if that's the case, then this is straight up murder. The guy knew the guy. I've never really heard of racial stuff going on in Minneapolis myself, but maybe there is. I don't know.
Bro, there just is everywhere, and I mean, this boils down to two major issues, and one of them is racism, and one of them is police brutality, and it just so happens that those two issues kind of like just go hand in hand with each other.
Yeah.
But systematic racism across the country and across the world.
Yeah.
That's a tough one to fix, because it's just a horrible thing that's been ingrained from years of, and like you were talking about slavery, man. I mean, like, slavery's been going on for all of history. It just so happens that stupid ass America was the most recent to like try to justify it.
No, I didn't bring up slavery, but but what you're right. That was definitely what I was kind of.
And that's
saying.
Where it all starts. It
wasn't that long ago.
It all comes down to that. And I mean, like, but as far as police brutality, like, we really need to do something about that, and we can actually. There are measures that could, that don't protect cops for being prosecuted, that don't keep them, with all these immunity things that they have. I forget all the names of the laws and bills and shit. Forgive me, but they're protected and they've gotten away. And look, let's also say I've worked with a lot of cops. I know a lot of cops. We all know that not every cop is racist or crooked or whatever. We also have to acknowledge that through the history of American police, there's been a shitload of racism and there's been a shitload of corruption. And they've been protected by a lot of that because of how it's set up. That could potentially change how they get away with, like, these bad apple cops that go out and do this racist bullshit and beat the fucking kill people. They won't get away with it anymore. That's where we could start. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. I do have a lot of opinions on, not a lot of opinions. I usually keep my voice pretty open-minded. I listen a lot before I talk a lot. I try to gain a lot of knowledge before I really start arguing things. Politics.
I like to fire away.
Yeah. Politics and stuff. Like, I try to stray away from. I don't really care. I don't vote this or that. Like, so I just shut up. You know what I mean?
You got to vote now, bro.
And I've already expressed, my thoughts on where I come from on people's opinions on each other's political choices. But, I'm not gonna say, like, I'm not gonna put myself in the position of a black individual, right?
Yeah.
Like, I have dear friends that I call family that are black that I've seen racial profiling and this or that, and some pretty harsh behavior from the authorities, whether it was doing something bad or not doing something bad. I myself, as a darker skinned individual, if you will, being of Mexican stature, I have, growing up, got fucked with a lot. Now, granted, my presence, the way I kept myself was probably different. I was younger, So that probably had a lot to do with it.
You're saying that Adrian Lopez's across the world were just hated on? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and the 85 Coupe de Ville cocaine white probably wasn't a good look either at a very young age. But
just to clear up that reference, Zach was the spitting image of a very popular skateboarder from the late 90s who bear the name Adrian Lopez. They were identical. This dude even wore the same shirt. So moving on.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
I got it a lot, though. I got it a
it.
lot.
I loved it,
And
bro.
I did wear Dickies a lot.
That's what made you famous in my mind. So just keep that in mind. That's why we're friends now.
But with that, and I could backside 180 in Caballero.
Yeah, you even had his tricks, dude.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's funny. Anyway, but yes, I've been thrown down. I've been ripped out of my car. I have been. I tell people this and they laugh. I've never been asked for registration. I've always been asked, "What are you doing? Where are you going? And can you get out of the car?" My whole entire life. It's never been license and registration, please. Never. I could probably have gotten away with never having a license because no one's ever asked me. Right?
Yeah.
I've had the particular knee in my neck on the ground with my face in the concrete, and every time he moved, I could feel it, and my face would go further and further into the ground, and I can feel it now, and it's a very unpleasant feeling.
Oh, you definitely had a restriction. Like you would lose a little bit of ability to breathe.
I'm
right?
gagging right now thinking about it. I gagged when I watched the video. I know exactly. I was in a raid at that point when that was going on, and it happened to be like outside this carport. I won't get into the story, but that's what happened. That's why I was in that particular situation. And I was fairly young too, man. They didn't really give a shit. I got tossed around in that one pretty good. And that was ATF and one of the local PDs out here. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. My point being is it is a thing. You know what I mean? When I did get arrested eventually later on in life, not too long after that, I heard some of the craziest things I've ever heard come out of a police officer's mouth. And I don't want to attract too much attention myself, but it's sickening if I repeated it. And it is not a fair shake. They wanted to put me in protected custody right away because I had a blue sweater on, and they just assumed I was a affiliate of said whatever. And it was not a pleasant situation, man.
You know, dude, it's like, first of
fucked
all,
up.
I
Got
can't.
fucked around.
I can't even. I am not a person of color. I am a white male. I generally can say honestly that I feel fucking shitty because I literally have had a far better experience with the authority.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to turn this into a big whole thing.
No.
But it's just kind of is. Maybe literally I've been pulled over a lot of times and I've gotten away with it. I'm not going to comment and on that. I can never understand. Neither of us are a black person, and
Right.
And
I'm not trying to polarize mine to that
Sure.
stature because and funny enough, the day I got arrested, and I will quote this, when I asked what I got pulled over for originally, because I never was told why I got pulled over or anything. I just kind of got arrested. They were suspicious.
Yeah.
I was with my black friend.
Yeah.
At the end of the night, when things were kind of getting settled and I was able to talk to somebody, man, I don't really want to talk about this. This is crazy,
Bro.
But anyway, the officer pretty much told me, yeah, I pretty much pulled you over because I saw a black guy and a Mexican guy in a Cadillac.
Wow.
And yeah, you weren't really speeding or anything.
You know what's funny is remember my
just
Honda
pulled you
Civic,
over.
my little Rice Rocket, the little Fast and Furious Honda Civic? You know I got pulled over 5 times in that car. I got let go every single time. I wasn't speeding. I got pulled over every time because it's a suspect type of car. And it, matched a couple descriptions. One time they were actually looking for it. But, my whole point is all I know deep down inside is that the feeling of the becoming akin to how much brutality there is and racism is. Like when I watched Roots when I was in the 5th grade, it fucking blew my mind. It made me feel sick inside, and it always has and it always will. So I understand that I'll never understand, but I stand with you. Whoever put that together, cheers to you for being an Instagram success. But it really does encapsulate the only perspective I can come from, which is man, this fucking sucks, and it makes me feel shitty inside that it happened. And the more you learn about it and the more you understand, the more it bothers you when people speak up and actually say, I don't think it's that big of a deal, or I don't think this is about racism. No. Those people need to just kick rocks from the planet, because And look at what's happening with the Drew Brees and the Vic Fangio over in Denver saying he doesn't think there's racism in football, and Drew Brees talking about how he still thinks it's disrespectful to not salute the flag. These people just do not understand. They just, for some reason, they're misguided, they're misinformed. They cannot conceptualize how deeply rooted it is.
Yeah.
It's just it's crazy.
That is crazy, man. No, it is a thing, and it's been corrupt for years, and we all know that. And look, things could have been worse. My life has obviously been turned around for a number of years. I've been we've been professional musicians since then. Yeah. So I was, lucky enough to not get myself in too much more trouble out of that. But that doesn't mean people around us and this and that haven't, you know what I mean? And we've watched some of that around us too, so it does gravitate over into sports. And my lady's kind of always like, and we've stated that we are definitely friendly, but we don't really tote it. She's like, man, it's crazy that you go on the golf course and you just smoke a bunch of weed and you're just pretty blatant about it, but like you get in the car and or you're driving around and you're just like super paranoid, you don't want weed in the car and this and that. And I'm like, man, like when I was growing up, like you could go to jail for a quarter or an ounce or something, you know what I mean, driving your car or like whatever. It was a big thing. Laws are different now. Don't definitely get intoxicated and take a bunch of edibles and drive, but back then it was even more severe. My dad grew some plants and my mom killed them because she thought the cops were going to raid us, what I mean, this and that, so it was
just plants.
It was a different time.
Just plants.
But
we got a long ways to go, man.
Yeah,
we really do. And the martyrs die in vain, or hopefully not in vain for specific, like purposes. It almost feels like sometimes, and as sad as this thing is, fucking the least it can do is awaken, the nation and get people. Look, the other thing is, stupid little white teenage kids like smashing windows and stealing shit. That's got to stop. Like the marches and the protests and the people speaking up and that's great. Thumbs up for that. People, just destroying stuff. I mean, I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
And it's hard not to go with the buildings can be replaced and insured, but like people's lives can't.
Oh,
and
don't get me wrong. I'm not upset about property damage.
Yeah, totally.
It sucks that it has to be a byproduct.
The looting itself is stupid. The loot. Yeah, you're right.
It sucks.
It has to be a byproduct. That is.
Yeah.
It sucks that you get that, and there's a lot of peaceful ones, and those do make sense.
Yeah, they do.
And let's not shy from the fact that I'm sure there's police officers that want this to go down, which we've seen in the news locally here.
Props to the good cops who are speaking up. Kind of see. I don't even.
I got a cousin on the force, so I got to watch what I say, man. But I'm not. But I've also never shied away from that. And like again, I had my troubles, and that's what it was. But like at the same time, I got to peek inside, and like I knew where I didn't want to go. After that,
yeah,
I worked the system to get out, and I've kept it clean ever since. And that's great. But it's a sticky slope, dude. Like I would love to just bash one or the other, but I guess we could sum it up with like this is just a kind of a terrible time. And
let me tell you what sucks, bro. Let me tell you what sucks,
Give it to me, man.
I grew up being obsessed with cop movies, dude. Dirty Harry, like Hawaii Five-0. Any show where there was an undercover cop, I was obsessed with it. I grew up kind of idolizing, and they always glorified the good cop. And then later on in my life, I started watching movies like, Serpico and shit like that. I'm like, God damn, these guys are corrupt. But growing up, when I was a kid, I didn't know about corrupt cops yet. I thought they were all out there to catch bad guys. Those little poster boards that you draw when you're in like second or third grade? Like, Here's about me. Here's my favorite color. The picture that I drew what I want to be when I grow up is an undercover cop. I drew this little dude with a gun.
Fucking Stitch Squad, dude. I told you you're fucking Stitch Squad. Oh,
I
man.
wanted to be an undercover cop my whole life, man. The whole idea of being a detective and just come on, bro. What does everybody watch? Everybody loves detective shows, dude.
I do,
Dexter,
though.
CSI,
I do. Dexter.
Law and Order, True Detective. People eat that shit up. The concept of good cops is the best thing ever. Sadly enough, it's I don't know what the numbers are, but there's also the huge concept of the crooked cop, the corrupt cop, the racist asshole cop, and they are just as true as the real cops and in bigger numbers lately, it seems.
Well, dude, and we have it good in California. Like, if people think we have it bad out here, we don't. A couple people get beat up here and there, you know what I mean? And there's probably a lot, and probably some of the people that do get roughed up probably deserved it if they're getting roughed up by some California cops.
I mean, that SF cop did shoot that person in the chest while they were kneeling. That's not going to go over
Some of this exposed it, you know? I saw a cop laid out. He was knocked out cold, and they were like, oh, he got attacked. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I think you guys were firing off fucking tear gas, and it blew up next to him, and he fucking got knocked out. That's what I think happened.
The videos are
for someone to be that out of it, and then he got his shit together, and I was like, nah, you got hit by a shrapnel. Or you got hit by friendly fire, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
My last
blame
bit,
it on the riders.
I gotta say one last thing. I'm gonna let you finish this up, and then we should probably skip off of this train. But
yeah, no, I got a good segue here, dude. No, we're gonna dive a little more deep into this, but we're going golf though.
We're gonna go golf.
We're going golf.
Oh, we are. We got. Yeah, we're gonna.
I got a lot of stuff, dude.
We're gonna start heavy, and we're gonna tear down. I forgot what I was gonna say, so it doesn't really even matter. But
well, this is big, and it had to be addressed, and at least we did.
Yeah.
And I know and we haven't really even talked leading up to this. I knew we'd each have like our pretty.
You asked me one question, I got the answer right.
What's that?
About who?
Yeah. So we'll come to that. Let's just get into golf, man. And
let's do it.
Again, we didn't think we were gonna come in this hot. So forgive the stuttering and everything. But yeah. But what the fuck, man? You can't hide from what's going on now.
Now is not the time to stay on the fence, man.
Everything was kind of looking up. You know, sports was kind of talking about coming back, and then this happens again, and some other ones came to light, and it's just fucking. It's great, but it's not. But I did want to kind of
fuck Drew Brees. Fuck Drew.
But I did want to bring something to light, and this is something that I've sat on for a while, and I didn't know when we would come around to bringing it up, and. It's amazing to me how much race kind of plays a role into golf and society. And we all know that, first of all, golf is pretty much interpreted as like a rich man's sport. So right away, anybody who's not rich through a certain period of time, fucking...
Very challenging to be able to play golf.
Just whatever, right? Yeah. Like, don't even worry about Mexicans and black people and Asian people. Like, just middle-class people couldn't even get on these courses. So everyone was down there, right? And we're talking from Scotland on down into the early 1900s.
Side note, country clubs are a prime example of systematic racism.
Yeah, and this is what I'm kind of diving into. And
systemic.
And this is heavy. This is a heavy thing because, first of all, I absolutely love golf. I saw a quote that said, change your golf attitude, change your life. And that is such a true statement because that has somewhat happened to me. As soon as I changed my attitude on the course, I changed my attitude around the life. And basically what that means is you get better results when you fucking think shit through and just fucking breathe. Yeah. As opposed to my old attitude, just like it was on the golf course, react to the bad.
Play life one shot at a time.
That's it. So as, again, an individual who grew up not ever thinking, for one, I was going to golf, two, not on an upper echelon of the tax bracket, if you will, right? My family wasn't well off. Things were not always bad, but things got bad later. So that's where the later in life happened. But what I'm getting at is still there wasn't that thought like golf, and me was like, there's no way I'm going to go to a country. That's just the stigmata, right? Mm-hmm. So fast forward, think about all that racially. Now, right? You go back to just first it was like the poor people, and then poor people got on the course, and then it was like only Asian tycoons got on the courses, and then like blah 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 blah, and only up till what 20, 30 years ago where black people let on certain courses, members as courses, just up until like 2 years ago a course in Europe just let women become members of their course and let women on their course. So golf in a whole, like you said, is just kind of that racial fucking goddamn sexist. So it is kind of weird that an individual like myself would gravitate to a sport that is generally projected as a rich man's sport, a racist sport, a sexist sport.
An elitist sport.
Elitist sport, thank you. And for me, it changed my life a little bit. It let me be whoever I wanted to be at that time. You know what I mean? And I didn't have to worry about nothing. You're on a golf course. Who's gonna fuck with you?
For the record,
You know what I mean?
while we were growing up at around the same age at the same time, I felt the same way about golf.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that I didn't. If I really tried to go out of my way, maybe I could have. But even still, like, my dad was a cheap ass bastard. Like, regardless of whatever, he was just like, I don't want to pay for that. Golf is expensive. It requires country. You don't play it unless your dad is a golfer and you're rich as shit and you have all that. I kind of viewed golf the same way. Like, nah. Like, I'll skate and play baseball and do sports.
I did the same
and
thing. There was golf clubs
and,
around my house too, and I was just my dad. I told the story about my dad playing Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf, so I knew who golfers were. I knew this or that, but I was just like, golf is dumb.
Yeah.
And then I had friends in high school. We already talked about this, dude. They all played, and I wish I played.
And then you chief that J on the top of the 4th hole at San Jose Country Club, and you smash it down the fairway, make a par, and you're just like, life.
Man. But so the attraction was there, man. And you got to think too, like, and I came in right before it, which we've said before, but like I did witness the nobody really golfing, being one of the only kind of like guy of ethnic background at the driving range, to Tiger boom. And every race, it's not even just black people or just Asian people. It was every fucking race. Tiger broke the barrier.
The gates,
and it's amazing because Tiger was just a kind of just a everybody person. Like, he wasn't rich, he wasn't poor, but he was able to break the barriers to go to country clubs and different courses and shine, right? In a definite predominant white sport.
Yeah, Tiger is, I mean, you know, I didn't even think about Tiger until you were talking for the last 40 seconds, and then I started Tiger in my head, and you made, and
he's
Tiger,
a pedestal. He's total catapult.
He did everything. He just launched it in, and he made golf like, and you know what the sad thing is? We need more Harold Varner threes out there, for God's sakes. Like, there needs to be more, and it will happen because the impact that Tiger has made, it's gonna last and you know, multiply over a long period of time. But
well, you gotta think too. Like, me and Ryan were reading right before the show. We were talking about the what were we talking about? The 1990 was when the first supposed black member of
where's our Masters?
Augusta, our beloved Augusta, allowed a black member. So you have to think that kind of transpired because of Tiger. Kind of, they knew Tiger was coming.
Yes.
So they had to alter their fucking rules.
I mean, before we get into that particular incident, because that is extremely pivotal, just in general, like, every golfer out there who loves the Masters and loves Augusta, you have to have that sinking feeling deep down in your gut of knowing that is one racist ass establishment, and the only reason why they eventually let black people play on the course and women play on the course was because they ultimately had to. Like, they were just like, okay, we got to stop this. They won't let us get away with this shit anymore. We have to. Condoleezza Rice was the first woman to play at the Masters at Augusta.
The first, her and another gal were the first female members of Augusta.
Female members, not
in 2012.
In 2012. 1990 was the first time that a black person was able to actually become a member.
Right?
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, and this is probably news no one's going to share, and someone correct me on YouTube or whatever, I'm totally fine. I want my facts correct. But I'm pretty sure Condoleezza is the first black female member of Augusta.
Yeah. I would think so, just based on her being the first. I mean, right?
So
and that's pathetic, and it's pathetic that to be honest, it's pathetic that we all give Masters a green card, if you will, for being able to just be that racist for that long, and we're still like, yay, let's still, like, you know, eat sandwiches and wear white and like just worship the Masters, because I gotta be honest, we do. Like, it's
really a kind of a juxtaposition.
It really is.
Well, and here's a couple more things. Hold on, like, and speaking of things not like being exposed or being pushed under the rug, remember that story I told you about, those ladies? Man, what were they? They were in Pennsylvania.
Oh, the 4 black women.
Yes.
At the golf course?
Yes. There was 5.
What happened?
So to quote, in April, to quote, 5 African American women said they were not playing fast enough at a Pennsylvania state's playing fast enough. Sorry.
Yes.
I
Wait. You said 5-some, right?
Yeah, there were 5-some first of all. On
Okay.
April 21st, the women were told by owners and employees of the Grandview Golf Course in New York County that they were taking too long. The club offered to refund their membership and then called 911. Okay. So,
again, yes, it was. As golfers, we all know that playing is a 5-some. Unless you're playing at adequate speed, there is reason to maybe even notify the pro shop if this can't be handled, diplomatically. But again, 911 should never be a part of the sentence in describing like a 5-some issue at a golf course.
It's never been an issue, right?
No, 911 is only called if there was a fight that erupted or something like that, or somebody's being held at gunpoint, right? Like, I mean, save the police for incidents that are like police needed. And police brutality is an issue, but there's also a lot of dumb shits out there that are calling the cops and getting them involved when they don't necessarily need to be, and shame on them.
Well, to bring light, into it, which hasn't been on this case, is that they won. They had a case, and the Pennsylvania Commission found that there was probable cause of racism, sexism in the Grandview Golf Club incident.
Bam.
So it looks like they had some things go in their favor. It was a 2-year battle that went on.
Well, props to them for sticking through it to make it, because this may be a not much of a relevant story on the grand scheme of things, but for golf, I'm glad that you were able to bring it up. That's what we do on the Magic Car Path, right?
We do. We bring all the news, dude.
Yeah.
The owner called the cops 2 times on them. Yeah. The former county commissioner quoted as, "I want people to know that this is corruption at its finest by the Pennsylvania Humane Relations Commission."
Props.
So a very serious situation.
Yep.
One could say, hey, it's just a 5-some. They should have known better. But when you actually think about it, how many times do you get caught by a 5-some? And even if you yell or call the clubhouse, no one really fucking cares.
Why do fucking racist white people think that they could just call the cops, if ever, and then it'll work? Because let's be honest, calling the cops is effective only because they kind of are obligated to show up if you call them, right? So, I mean, like, I could call the cops right now on the neighbor and make up some bullshit story about how they were beating their dog or something like that. It will get the cops to come out, like, no matter what.
Yeah.
And they're already going to be like, what are we out here? They're going to be on edge, and they're going to be already suspicious or whatever. I'm not obviously, justifying anything. I'm simply saying people are like, they resort to calling the cops when they're racist. Why? That's just like,
yeah.
It's a sad truth.
Well,
man.
And it kind of just shows the attitude of golf itself.
Elitist sport, dude.
Yeah.
It's such a.
And it's kind of funny because I kind of ride through Los Gatos on my way to work, and when these riots were going off, it was kind of weird. I got some snub looks from some white folks. Because generally I wave to everybody. Hey, good morning. I'm out early. I don't want to be. Time of pandemic, I've usually had a mask on, so it's usually like, hey, how's it going? Just to make sure.
Head nods, like little what's up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hurt them or whatever.
That's the new hi, because you can't just say hi to somebody. They don't see your face move. You're weirdly looking at them, and they hear "Meh," and you're just like,
Yeah. So that was a good story that I thought didn't get enough light. There's another one. This isn't a story that had any good light come out of it, but it was during the time that was pretty, I guess, recent. I forget who it was, and now I'm feeling kind of dumb for even bringing this up. But I think it was the boxer. I want to say it was Jack Johnson, right?
Okay. I don't know.
Anyway, he was playing in the LA Open, or it wasn't the LA Open at the time, but it was
at Riviera though.
It wasn't Riviera at the time.
Oh.
But Yeah. So anyway, the first hole came on and he teed off. I guess he was like one of the first groups off. And when he got to the green, there was poop in the golf hole, and it was purposely put there.
Oh, that's right.
And it was like in '67 or something like that. Yeah. God damn it. Of course, Phil Mickelson. Of course, a white guy's fucking cool story of the poop in the cup at fucking Colonials. The top story on here. I can't find the actual news.
Colonials happening. Charles Schwab's happening next week. Woo!
Damn, it is, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of story, man, I got a story for you. And we're gonna shift from all of this. In 1999, there was a match between David Duval and Tiger Woods at that was it. Showdown at Sherwood in L.A. August 2nd, 99. David Duval, Tiger Woods, made for TV, highly anticipated.
Dang.
Big deal. At the time, caddies were still not allowed to wear shorts in golf. As you well know, PGA Tour does not allow the players to wear shorts during competition. They have since allowed them to wear shorts during practice rounds and competitive practice rounds or whatever.
Hey, you want to hear?
Still wait, hold on.
Okay.
This is a highly monumental moment.
Okay.
The caddies, Stevie Williams for Tiger Woods, and Mitch Knox, who's the caddy for David Duval.
Okay.
They showed up to play 91 degrees in shorts. They showed up to caddy, right? Tiger and David were still wearing pants, but they showed up. And the commissioner warned that he needed to be wearing long pants or they would not be caddying on the PGA Tour. So they went to the local store and they got these like little knicker pants and they rolled up the pants to their ankles. And he still said, unacceptable. You wear normal shorts or you are not playing. Tiger Woods says to Williams, well, guess I'll be playing in Europe then. Long story short, they wore shorts that day. And from that moment on, caddies were allowed to wear shorts.
That's
indefinitely.
Sick. Do you want to hear some kind of racial shit again? Caddies at Augusta were only allowed to be black back in the day.
Oh, that's right.
They were only allowed to be black. They were never allowed to play the course.
Yeah.
Ever until 1975, which I think we quoted already, Lee Elder.
Well, I guess I prematurely went to shorts because we didn't really finish up on that.
No, I'm sorry. You just brought up caddies, so I thought of that. So, of course, I'm gonna play devil's advocate with you every time.
Well, there was, we could go on and on about more racism, but let's shift into shorts, man, because this is also a nationwide pandemic. One more thing,
golf.
Before we get into shorts, I have another good news, bro. So far, 0 confirmed murder hornet deaths. 0.
I thought I saw one dead in my backyard. I got in the pool. I think it stung my dog.
I don't know. I mean, like, before the super volcano comes...
Oh, it was fucked up.
I thought the murder hornets...
Volcano.
The super volcano's coming. But, I mean, the super volcano's always coming. They're just playing on hysteria, bringing that shit out. Come on, science. Come on, science.
Do it.
Don't be like the rest of them. Anyways, murder hornets haven't killed anybody. Yeah. That's a good thing.
Man, you said volcanoes... remember a couple years ago in I think the Big Island when the volcano erupted? Too bad we didn't have the show then because that would have been some great Instagram material. But there's a picture of a guy. The volcano is definitely exploding in the background, and he's definitely teeing off.
Yeah,
it is fucking amazing. And
backdrop.
What an amazing sight, dude!
I'm sure he was hot all day with the putter.
Yeah, like it's not hot in Hawaii as it is too, and then you got the fucking volcano in your backswing.
Can't wait to get an update. I need to, as soon as we're done, I'm gonna text and get an update. Or maybe if you talk, I need to find out how these guys are doing right now.
All right, for sure. So we got some buddies out golfing right now. In other news, so we'll get an update from the course. We got Big Tim, Mace, and me and Ryan had to work like normal people.
Yeah.
And so who knows who they got paired up with or if they called some other friends. So we'll get an update. And hopefully Mason's beating Tim.
We're both crushing it, by the way, if I do say so myself, in our new respective jobs.
I'd say our golf games are pretty good, too, for not playing for 3 months or whatever, too. Like, I mean, I think we've picked up where we left off.
Seriously, aside from the world burning, everything is doing, pretty good.
I got a job.
I mean, you got a job.
EDD came through today.
Good things are happening. Good things,
No baseball yet, though.
Yeah. Baseball, you know what? Real quick on baseball. Real quick. if baseball doesn't happen because of money issues between players union and MLB execs and all that, that's going to be really sad, and it's going to be really pathetic, and it's kind of crazy how publicized the whole fight between the players and MLB has been on, like, players want 100, or the owners want 114 games, right? Players are like, dude, screw you. You just want to eat up as much money as possible.
Yeah.
So they propose their games, and it's just a wicked battle.
That's a
If
battle,
they don't
man.
end up starting baseball, like, first of all, before I even finish that sentence, we don't know if all sports will even go on when they're supposed to. But baseball at least needs to get their shit together and be in line with basketball and golf.
They're kind of silent. They're kind of silent. AT&T was boarded up because of the riots.
Of course.
They had everything all boarded up.
How long do you think
public
these riots
house.
are gonna
I
continue?
don't know. I heard there was one in Las Gatas yesterday.
Well,
which
I think
was kind of weird.
The good thing is,
Good for white people, I guess.
I think the riots have dissipated a little bit and turned more of just peaceful protests, and there's nothing bad about that. It's a great thing.
I will say that. Yeah. There is definitely that flux going.
People just need to.
And again, the riots make a point.
They sure do.
Or the looting make a point to an extent. You know what I mean?
Again, man, the word is byproduct.
It's establishment. It's been going on for years, so it's not like it's the first time. And again, we already kind of mentioned it's like it sucks that it just kind of comes with it.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised that it came around down here, but
I'm pretty sure even when
burn this bitch down.
Here I go again. Even when Martin Luther King, the riots, and that is the voice of the unheard, and that's ultimately what this boils down to. And the systemic racism is not going to get answered. So this is why this happens. It is a byproduct of what is to blame and what is at fault.
Yeah.
Which is the brutality and the racism.
And to think that those peaceful protests didn't end with someone getting sprayed with a hose or getting beat up or tear gas didn't happen. You just only see pictures of certain situations and pictures of other situations.
Yeah, but you know what?
You don't know which are which.
I tell you what, like, all of this in there, and just to it would really, really, really suck to have to be a cop in there trying to, like, monitor that. I mean, I hate to even, like, say that, but there's nothing. I mean, even when I saw a cop today in the store, who wasn't wearing a mask, by the way, motherfucker. Like, we're all wearing masks. Why can't you wear a mask? Yeah. But I'm just like, it's crazy. I'm looking at him. I'm like, are you one of the fucking rotten ones? I've
just gotten more of because we go out on bike rides and shit at night, and we were hanging out at this high school not too far from here, and these cops rolled in. Yeah. I don't want to say they saw me, but I was telling my lady that I was like, oh, these fools are probably gonna roll up in here. They see me kind of just doing circles. They didn't see the kid. But they rolled up. But I'm just saying that the general consensus I'm getting from other officers is like, is he going to wave to me or not wave to me? Or how's this guy going to approach me as we cross paths? Is the aura I'm feeling around just general contact day to day?
Yeah. You know how that is with interaction. When you come to a point where it's kind of like obligatory to make eye contact and acknowledge each other, I still am going to do it too, no matter who it is on the street.
I always try to say what's up, let him know I'm not doing anything
Unless it's the crazy naked man who sleeps in the bench across the street from my parking lot. This guy we have the cops coming through our parking lot from some poor soul who just decides to remove most of his clothing and walk around in our parking lot.
It's funny that I have so much paranoia still to this day, even though I run a pretty clean slate, dude. But damn, dude, it's just in me.
Yeah,
it's funny. I don't think I could ever shake that because now if when I get pulled over, like, I'm super chatty, I joke around because I'm just like, fuck, search my fucking car. But I tell you what, though,
it's nice when you're not doing anything wrong, like,
yeah. Oh, bro, I've had situations where I've gotten pulled over, like when more of my life was cleaned up, and I get the whole, hey, they're just looking in the back of my car. I've been so frustrated that I've literally said, sir, I'm going to open the door and please just get in. I'm so tired of this. Just please go search my car. Because there was nothing in there, and he just kind of looked at me sideways and was like, never mind.
I don't care who you are, what you've done in your life, what you intend on doing. When you're driving in your car and there is a police officer in a car behind you, it fucks with your shit. No matter what. Yeah. No matter what's going on. You're driving the speed limit, all your tags, lights, everything works. You're still like,
I feel him too.
Dude, just get away from me, please. Change lanes.
And then it sucks too because I can't make any sudden moves because I feel like if I make any sudden moves, then I'm fucked, dude. You know what I mean?
Bro,
every time. Cheers.
Just move slowly, man. They don't see you. They're like T-Rexes.
Ride slow, homie.
Let's get out of here, bro. We've done enough damage. Oh, well, we didn't even get into shorts.
We really have.
All I wanted to say
speaking of damage, dude. Yeah, so this is actually kind of funny because this is a good segue out of here. And this,
Yes.
in light of summer, in light of us actually being in shorts right now, in the hub, sweating balls, man, straight up.
Sweating
Good
balls.
fucking god. Dude, let's shake it up, man. Rock it with it, man.
Well, we've expressed several times that we have a disdain for shorts on the golf course.
I don't particularly wear them.
We only do it out of desperation when, in California it hits 88 degrees. It's like, it's like Back to the Future. We got to put the shorts on.
To all you soccer fans, just for some friendlies.
Yeah, just for some friendlies, man. We don't wear shin guards. We don't, I'm not going to red card anyone.
I'm not going to bring out the nice slacks.
But the whole concept of why ESPN came out with an article about shorts just basically boils down to there's nothing going on in golf right now, so why not? And I applaud them for doing so. It was this guy, what's his name? Don't know. Fuck it. Sue me. Anyways,
we quoted ESPN. That's all we need to quote.
Shorts, that incident at Sherwood, allowed caddies to wear shorts, and it probably is a matter of time before players are going to be able to wear shorts on the PGA Tour. And really, I got to be honest.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
That makes me feel sick inside.
I don't agree with that. But...
And I don't have anything righteous to back it up with.
Yeah.
It's actually why not, man? It's 80 degrees. They're playing in Florida. It's 90 degrees. It's hot.
Yeah, and it's been fun watching the match and all that shit where they're in shorts. That's
no, it's
great.
not. It's not been fun to see any golfer in shorts compete professionally.
It might not be fun, but they're not competing professionally at this point. They're just competing for some money.
I don't care. It's wrong. Cool. I have trouble watching the college tournaments.
Hey, Sam Snead's rolling in his fucking grave, dude.
Thank you. Matthew Wolff crushed it in Oklahoma, and that tournament was on the other day on the Golf Channel. Refused to watch it because I watched 10 minutes of him. I can't watch these people playing shorts.
Yeah, go back to college if you want to wear shorts.
Yeah,
I do agree with that. I'll give you that.
Made exceptions for the match. Made exceptions.
That is an exception.
Right.
But in professional PGA play, Ryder Cup, Olympics, maybe a question mark there. Back to the others, 100% you're wearing pants. And the only reason I say that is because I relate it to a baseball uniform. They're not allowed to wear fucking shorts if it's too hot that day.
No, they wear
Shout
pants.
out to old school Cincinnati Stadium.
They wear pants, man. Men wear
People
pants.
would die out there, bro.
I'm wearing shorts right now, claiming men wear pants, but I should wear shorts more. I mean, can you see this brown to white contrast right there? Dude, I should wear shorts.
Tell the guys that would play in the 80s in baseball on the AstroTurf, right? And when the weather would be 100 outside but 120 on the field, right? And then they go golfing that weekend after that.
Doesn't matter, though. Baseball, you can't. You got to slide.
Doesn't matter. You can't in golf either.
You got to slide. You got to slide in baseball.
You got to wear your uniform in golf, dude.
Yeah,
wear your uniform. And we brought this up too. I remember people texting us and being like, "Hey, fuck that. Shorts is all good, whatever." But we're talking about competition play.
Yeah.
Competition play.
And I do wear it. It's one of those things, man. I'm just like, God damn it, I will say this though. I do tend to shoot my best rounds in shorts, but it's not the shorts.
It's kind of funny.
It's just the heat. It's just the heat.
I do play good in shorts.
You play good in the heat. You only wear shorts when it's hella hot.
I thrive
you play
in
good
the heat, though. I'm not hot right now.
And it's probably safe to say that if you did wear pants that day that you played in the heat when you wore shorts, that you might not shoot as well because eventually your legs will be sweaty as shit.
I just think the ratio would be just as good.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll never know.
I sweat just as much.
Certain things you'll never.
You don't know. Yeah, but I'll tell you what. If I'm golfing in Hawaii, I'm not wearing fucking pants.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm not wearing underwear in Hawaii. Definitely.
Lord of mercy. Are we ever gonna go back to Hawaii?
I don't know, man.
I mean, the golf courses are out there. They're ripping.
Yeah. Ripping.
That's what we need to do. We need to go to Oregon after this.
We need to get some fresh air, man.
Let's get out of here.
Let's end the show clearly because if I don't breathe some fresh air, I might pass out.
Well, again, everybody, thanks for joining us. Shout out to all our sponsors. Shout out to all.
Wait.
What the fuck?
Album.
Thank you.
I just looked over at
totally
Elvis.
Reminded myself.
Dang.
But you did still kind of interrupt me, but that's okay.
Sorry.
In light of everything, we did have to address some things that I think were on the table, and that was great. I did want to bring some light into the golf world that maybe we're not talked about. Like Ryan said, the Varners and everybody in the world, the Tigers, this is a great thing. There's more black people in football than there is white people. I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, but there's not enough ownership and coaching.
There's a lot of white owners out there. But nonetheless, that is amazing for sports. That is amazing for human rights. Like my lady said, Color really isn't anything. All it represents is where your family comes from.
Where you from, bro? That's it.
That's it. You can trace your backgrounds from your skin tone.
Yeah.
And that is a true statement. Hey, shit's been the way it is. Hopefully this changes now.
Yeah.
But we did have to touch on it, and there is some real shit in golf, and we can all relate. Whether or not we have a lot of listeners that could probably relate and not relate, but yeah.
Stop the hate, child. Stop the hate.
Oh, man. Well, hopefully next show, the news will be different. But before we get out of here, we do, yes, definitely.
We got to switch.
Need to switch the record.
Yeah, we got to.
We got Elvis. One of the biggest, what is it? I don't know, assholes that would steal black music.
Oh, he did.
He's blamed. He's one of the ones.
At least he did it well.
Technically. Yeah.
What that's worth. He's no Buddy Holly, but
and I say it like that because that's quoted. He's no Buddy Holly.
He's no Buddy Holly. All right, what do we got? Front of the row.
Yeah, that's very fitting.
Wow, that's
Fuck yeah.
Aretha Franklin's greatest hits. Thank you. This is the world speaking to us.
Yeah.
Wow, Spanish Harlem is track 1, man.
I might spin that tonight.
Dr. Phil, you should.
I'm gonna spin that tonight.
Do right, man. Respect. Bridge over troubled water. Get out of here.
So you got to understand too, and
wow.
and my mention to Elvis, and she's definitely
chills right there.
She's definitely the Nirvana to hair metal, Guns N' Roses. You know what I mean? Like Elvis, yeah, he got popular. Whatever they said, he stole black music, but Aretha really got in there and fucking stole the show, man. Rest in peace. We didn't lose her too long ago. You know what I mean?
I know.
So, yeah, man. Talk about a civil rights activist. Fuck, dude. Crazy times. She would be probably a very vocal person in these times for sure. But check that record out. Aretha's greatest hits, man. All of them are on there. All her records are good, but I'm definitely spinning this tonight for sure.
To quote the great Ollie G, respect.
For sure, man. For sure. Hey, everybody be safe out there. We still got this pandemic shit. Look out for one another.
Wear your mask. Wash your hands.
Just be kind, dude.
Protest if you want. Just don't break windows. I mean, try to just not break people. Don't hurt people.
Don't hurt people. Yeah. But to everybody else that's enjoying stuff like we are, and again, we're very grateful for this show. And to everybody else out there hitting the links, man, head down.
Good vibes. Cheers.